Today we're going to be talking about the full moon in Libra that is coming up on April 12th or 13th, depending on where you are in the world. And it's got some really important elements to share with us. There's also other alignments that I want to make sure that you're aware of so that you can take advantage of them. And we do have some kind of intense energy we want to know how to manage so it doesn't manage us. This is always one of the things I say is when there's intense energy, the more that you know about it and the more that you learn how to work with it, the more command you can be in your life and less feeling like you're being pushed around by outside forces, which can happen, especially in our world today when things are so tumultuous and chaotic around us. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. And if you like the video, please do give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, turn on your notifications to make sure that you don't miss a single video. All right, let's get started. So first off, Mercury just went direct on April 7th, and that's always a good thing for our communication because in our society, we tend to just want to keep going forward. And when you're in a retrograde with Mercury, so you have to go back over communications, make sure everybody is on the same page, make sure everybody understood things the same way, make sure the communication even went through, because I keep hearing about people not getting emails or whatever. So thank goodness Mercury is now going forward, and we are going to have a little bit more to say about that because of the gate that he just moved into. And then Jupiter, our dear friend Jupiter, on the same day has moved from the gate 35, which is the gate of experience, into the gate 45, which is known as the king or the queen or the sovereign gate. So with Jupiter, our most massive planet in the whole solar system, it really influences us a lot. So Jupiter, of course, is in some ways is our blessings, right? But Jupiter is a god of expansion, right? Really expansive, generally considered to be good luck, right? And so when Jupiter was in the 35, a lot of that was about experience. What are we experiencing? How are we feeling it in our bodies? How are we able to expand into something that is better? And now in the 45, this, as I said, is the king or the queen or the sovereign gate. And so it's the tribal leadership gate. Okay. It's on the throat. It's part of the money line, and it does have to do with the distribution of resources and are resources being distributed or not, because the shadow side of the 45 is dictatorship and authoritarianism, which is where a person or a small group of people are aiming to get all the resources for themselves, right? We saw this with royalty, and now we see it in other guises in the world today. And so this is definitely happening on the world stage. We see that there is authoritarianism expanding and spreading out. But you have the opportunity, and every one of us has the opportunity, to step into this gate of leadership, this gate of sovereignty, and to own more sovereignty for ourselves first inside of ourselves. So, for example, if you've been running a lot of fear or anger, that kind of just that fighting energy, which is so predominant in the world right now, just take a look at that and see if you can transmute it so that it has a higher frequency and that you can step in and you can be more generous, right? You can be more kind. You can be more compassionate, because the best sovereigns are always looking for what's best for the people. And so you want to make sure that you're looking at what's best for you first, and then for your family, you want to make sure everybody's taken care of, but then be looking at your neighborhood and your communities and any groups that you're a part of or any circles that you participate in. And how can you step into any leadership there and just to support really what's going on and to make sure that people have what they need? Because in tribal leadership, we really like it when everybody's voice is heard, everyone's taken into account. It doesn't mean that everybody gets everything that they want all the time, but it does mean that everyone matters, and then that we're taking people into account. So one of the things you want to look at during this month while Jupiter is lighting up that gate 45 is take a look at yourself. Are you falling into any of the shadow of the 45, the control over the wanting to manipulate or coerce to get things to go your way? Are you experiencing the disempowered state where you're feeling like there's these outside forces that are coming at you? The power over is coming at you, manipulating you and trying to coerce you into doing certain things, right? Or are you more in the more awakened expression of this where you're stepping into leadership yourself and you're taking command of your own life and of the things that are inside of your purview that you know that you can influence? And then on the 12th, we're going to have a full moon in Libra. Let's just remember that the sun and the moon are always opposite each other at a full moon, and that the moon and the earth are together in the same gate. So that's what we'll be looking at here. And also that full moons are really crescendos, right? They're like the apex, and they shine a light on things that we need to let go of as we're coming into fuller awareness. And I want to share with you that the Sabian symbol for this particular degree of Libra is called the Chanticleer's voice, heralds sunrise. And the keynote is a creative and joyous response to life processes. The cock crows as the first coloring of dawn appears in the eastern horizon as a beautiful symbol of the ability demonstrated by all pioneers and cosmically attuned individuals to give voice to what is as yet unmanifest but is on its way to manifestation. This is really powerful, right? Because we are at this point, we're in Aries. Neptune just moved into Aries at the end of March. And so now the dreams that we've had, that we've been cultivating for all these years that Neptune was in Pisces, are now starting to get feet, right? They're starting to get legs. Now, this can be a long journey of Neptune in Aries. I think it's 14 years or so. There's a retrograde that'll happen later this year back into Pisces. But no, nevertheless, here we are. And so we're starting to burn up some of the fog that we had of Neptune in Pisces, and we're starting to get more clarity. And here we are with the full moon really lighting things up for us. And we've got Chanticleer's voice for us to be saying, okay, what is it that is coming into manifestation? It may not already be manifested, but it is something that we can feel. It's maybe even something we can see. It might be something we're already working on. But what is that we are giving this our attention to? And then this is happening in the gate 32. So the gate 32 is on the spleen center. So the spleen center is the center for instinct and intuition, the immune system, and right timing. And all of the gates on the spleen center are known as fear gates. And I talked about this quite a bit in the April report, so you can go and check that out if you want to dig into it more. But the fear of the 32 is known as endurance and continuity. It's really this ability to hold on to an idea until it's ready for it to come into manifestation, which I think is really interesting with the Sabian symbol, which is about something that's not manifest yet, but you can feel that it's coming. This is very connected to the 32. I love how these synchronicities happen, right? With the 32, it's in the communal circuit or the commerce or the community circuit that is a part of the tribal circuit. And so it does have to do with potentially business ideas or ideas that will create more resources for the tribe or that will bring in new things that are in commerce that can help all of us. But the fear of the 32 is the fear that it's not going to work out. Whatever it is that we're really feeling, and we have this desire and we can feel like it wants to manifest, but we're afraid it's just not going to work. We're afraid that it's going to fail. So the fear of failure can come in here. The other fear that can happen is the fear that while you're gestating this idea that somebody else is going to come along and either take it or they're going to act on it before you get a chance to do that. You might still have a fear that other people are going to act on it before you do, or that it's really going to fail. The other thing that's happening if you take a look at this image, you'll see that the gate 36 is super lit up this month. I talked about this a little bit in the April report, but I wanted to just show you here, right here with the full moon, is that we've got the North Node that's been there for quite a while, but then we also have Mercury and Venus and Saturn. There's this pile up that's happening in this one gate right at the end of Pisces. And we had, as I mentioned earlier, Mercury was retrograde. Venus is still retrograde, but it's going to turn around and go forward really soon. And we've got all of this energy in this gate 36. So the gate 36 is known as crisis in traditional human design and or exploration in quantum human design. And it is on the emotional solar plexus, so it is emotional, so it can get into a freak out state. It can. But what we want to be able to do is go, where is our opportunity with this? Where's the adventure? What can we explore that will help us to move beyond whatever it is that we might be feeling a little freaked out about so that we can expand into new possibilities? In order to do that, we also need to break patterns of the past. And this is part of the character of the gate 36 is the ability to break patterns of the past. We've had so many themes talking about breaking patterns of the past. And still got Pluto in Aquarius. Here we've got Neptune coming into Aries. There's a lot of energy for us to be able to continue to take off and to really shred the patterns of the past that have been holding us back and are really not working for us. And at this time, like I said, we've had the North Node, which is our collective destiny at this point. It's like we are destined to move forward out of this crisis into more exploration. And Mercury is here helping to give voice to it. Venus is saying, what are our values around this? Are the things that you are paying attention to in alignment with your values? Are your values in alignment with crisis? Or are your values more in alignment with adventure and exploration? I know for me, it's more that way. So this is an opportunity for you to shift that also if you need to. Then Saturn is also here making his way also to Aries. We're going to have a very powerful Aries extended season after the sun leaves, while we have Saturn and Neptune together in Aries. A lot that's coming up moving forward, but Saturn is going to help give some structure to these ideas that we might have, to what it is that we're feeling, we're wanting to move forward in terms of our ability to explore and adventure. And Saturn can give us as another force that can help put legs on what it is that we are interested in. So you'll see here from this image, just all what the dates are for when these planets are here. You can see that the North Node, like I said, has been here, is going to be here through June. Mercury is here for the first half and is going to move out on the 13th. Venus is picking up. No, Venus is going to be here all month. And then Saturn is picking up in the middle of the month and it's going to go through all the way through the beginning of May. So you can take a look at this. And one of the things I would suggest is if you look at and see if this changes your chart at all. For example, if you have, it's made the gate 35, that'll give you a defined throat and a defined emotional solar plexus, so if they're open on you as they are on me. This is a good one to take a look at because 36 has been lit up all through the fall. It's been lit up for months. Okay. There's been a little times when it's dropped out, but it's been super highlighted by the planets. And so without necessarily needing to go into all of the specifics, just to know that there is so much energetic support for you right now to be really breaking apart the patterns of the past and to be letting go of any sense of crisis, any sense of victim consciousness, any sense that you have to get in there and fight, and instead be looking at what else is possible. How can we open up the field of possibilities rather than feeling like everything is getting really constricted for us? And then just to say, Venus is going to move out of the gate 36 at the end of April, and it has turned around and is going direct as of April 13th. We've got a lot going on here in the middle of the month and some that is just carrying forward with us. And so some good things for you to think about with any full moon is to look here and look back since we had our last full moon in Virgo to say what happened for you, right? What kind of fell apart? What started to come out and what have you been creating? What is becoming visible to you now that maybe you couldn't see before? What aspect maybe of shadow material you have that's coming up for you? And of course, Libra is all about balance, right? It's about justice. It's about making sure that everyone, again, has a voice and that everyone is heard from. And so we've got a nice little dance here with Jupiter and what Jupiter is doing. So we want to really be tuning into what the planets are showing us rather than watching a lot of mainstream media and falling into crisis around it. The thing is that when we fall into crisis and when we're acting out of fear, we're pretty disempowered, actually. You might feel that you're more powerful because anger, for example, or outrage can give you energy, but it ultimately will drain you. It's for short bursts. It's what we do when we're jumping out of the way of a speeding car, right? It's like, it's good for short bursts, but not for long-term energy. Be kind to yourself. Do some journaling. Make sure that you're spending some time outside, doing some breath work, taking care of your body. Your body's going through a lot right now. We have so much energy that is coming from our sun that is activating us and helping to really elevate our DNA, elevate the quality of the energy that is animating our form, really waking up our light body and the light being that you are that's inside your physical form. All of that is becoming stronger and stronger. So it's really important to take care of yourself during this time. And if you're tired, rest. If you're tired, rest. If you need to go outside and just lie on the ground for a while, do that. And just know that there's a lot that's happening that you might not be aware of, but that if you can become receptive to it, you can become receptive. And I love to use a phrase that I learned from my major spiritual teacher, Oren, which is the highest light controls. The highest light controls. And so this is for our world and for me, for my family, for our world, for you, my friends, the highest light controls. How can we be orienting to the highest light, which is then going to support us to know what our best path is. So I encourage you to be doing whatever you need to do around your spiritual practice so that you can be meeting you can be clearing your energy, you can be open to be receiving the downloads that are coming in all the time, all of the spiritual information that is being sent to us, and that you can trust that we're going to get through the tumultuous nature of what we're in right now, and that the new earth is actually already coming into form. All right, my dears, that's my report for today. Many blessings and much love. Bye for now.